Oh, am I excited about this. I love a good mini PC, and this particular one is jam-packed full of great features. Let's open it up. Trying not to tear the box because I might have to take pictures of it later, and I'm being selfish, so. Let's take this sleeve off. So we're gonna slide this right off here. Really good tight fit. Ha. And here we have it, the MS-01. Seems like it's really well packaged in open-celled foam, which keeps it really, really safe. So pop that off of here. Set it over there. Tear open this bag. And this is her. Oh, even more foam back here on the back, which is pretty cool. Oop, flopped right out there. This thing has a footprint of roughly 7.5 inches squared, and it's just under 2 inches tall. And they packed a lot of power into this little guy. But first, let's take a look at the I/O. We have the power switch, a combo headphone and microphone jack, a USB 3.0 port, type A, and 2 USB 2.0 type A ports. And you might be wondering why you would want USB 2.0 at this point, but I think that those are most likely for the keyboard and mouse, just so they're easy to access. On the rear, we have the power jack, 2 USB 3.0 ports, an HDMI port for your monitor, 2 USB 4 ports, which you can also use for your monitor if you'd like, 2 2.5 gigabit RJ45 Ethernet ports, and 2 10 gigabit SFP Plus ports. You also, if you notice here, have a little half-height PCIe slot, and that is gonna be super cool when we get there. But let's go ahead and crack this guy open. All you have to do to pop this guy open is press the button on the rear I/O, and it slides completely out. The configuration we have here is powered by an Intel Core i9-13900H. That's a 14-core CPU. 6 of those are performance cores, which can turbo up to 5.4 gigahertz. And 8 of those are efficiency cores, which still turbo pretty high at 4.1 gigahertz. I want to show you the RAM, but it looks like this fan is covering it. So hold, please. So it's going to be kind of hard to see, but the RAM is directly underneath of this fan, which is being held on by these 3 screws. Now, all we have to do is unplug this header here. And voila, we have 2 16 gig DIMMs for a total of 32 gigabytes of DDR5 5200 memory. You can configure this up to 64 gigabytes, so if you want to upgrade, you can always do so later. But as you can see, there's no storage here, so let's flip it over and check out where the storage goes. Now, one really cool thing about this is that all of the storage is actively cooled. This fan here is going to cool all of your storage, but that means we're going to have to remove this fan in order to get to the storage. So we've got 3 more screws. This screw here not only holds down the fan, but it looks like it also holds down the Wi-Fi chip. And it does. The Wi-Fi chip just pops right up there. Try to be careful not to pull it out while you're getting this cable. The header is just underneath of here. So you have to pull that out. I'm going to disconnect it. You don't necessarily have to, but just for ease of access. And here we have not 1, not 2, but 3 M.2 slots, one of which has a nifty trick up its sleeve. This is the 512 gigabyte drive that they give you. And let's take a look at that actually. This heatsink seems like it is held on with just 2 rubber bands, which is definitely an interesting way of doing that. I never would have thought to do that. Now the slot that this came in actually has a little trick up its sleeve, and it comes in the shape of this little black box. Inside of here is a carrier board that will adapt M.2 to U.2. Now, why would you need a U.2 drive? Well, it all comes down to size, really. So you can get 8 terabyte drives in this form factor, but there's only so much room on here for NAND flash. So if you have a physically larger drive, you're gonna be able to get a higher capacity out of it. We don't have any U.2s on hand, but I will still show you how to do this. Basically, you would mount the U.2 using these 4 holes, and then before you install it, this is very important, you would take this switch from M.2 to U.2. Now the reason you want to know if that switch is on U.2 or M.2 is because U.2 has a different voltage. And if it's set to U.2 and you put an M.2 in there, it could absolutely destroy your drive. And as you can see, this carrier board is going to be held down by this fan, once again, double use, at these 2 points. And it's still enough room for 2 more M.2 drives. Now, I'm not going to use a U.2, so I'm going to uninstall this and flip it back to M.2, just so we know that the voltage is not going to fry our 512 gig drive. Reinstall that. Let's go ahead and reinstall the fans and get to that PCIe slot. What we have here is an NVIDIA RTX A1000 GPU. Now, this isn't gonna blow any records out of the water, but it is gonna help us out with some GPU accelerated workflows for things like Plex or Ollama or even some gaming if we really wanted to. So let's go ahead and install it. First thing you're gonna wanna do is remove this screw here, holding in this retention bracket. Pop this down. If you've ever used a keystone, it's about the same amount of pressure. Pull it out. There's a plate here. You just slide it to the side and pull it out. Now we just slide this in. Just like that. Now you replace this little retention bracket, pop it right in, replace the screw. Now you just slide the inner piece into the shell. You now have a fully GPU powered PC. Who is the Minisforum MS-01 for? I think it's for anybody that isn't a hardcore gamer or a content creator. For everybody else, there's plenty of RAM, plenty of CPU, and plenty of storage options to get everything that you would need to get done. And I think this is a great mini PC to take care of any home server needs that you might have, especially with the Ethernet and SFP Plus ports. This could be a game changer for a lot of people. So if you want to see us experiment with this as a gaming PC or a home server, go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you want a microcenter near you, go ahead and comment #I want a microcenter near me below.